안녕. Welcome back. I have another natural conversation, this time about making plans for what to do on the weekend. Because if you're spending any time traveling in Korea or if you live there, talking with someone else about what you're going to do is really a big part of the whole experience. Because oftentimes planning for a trip can be even more fun than the trip itself. At least sometimes I think so. And this time our conversation is between two close friends, so we're going to see a lot of casual speech. So first, let's just listen to the full conversation once, and then I'll go over everything in detail and see what we can learn from it.
지수야, 우리 이번 주말에 뭐 하기로 했지?
글쎄, 뭔가 하기로 했던 것 같은데 기억이 잘 안 나네?
어디 가기로 했던 것 같아. 영화 보러 가기로 했나?
아니야, 영화는 저번 주에 봤잖아.
아, 기억났다. 우리 놀이공원 가기로 했어. 토요일? 일요일?
맞아, 놀이공원. 일요일보다는 토요일이 좋을 것 같아.
그래, 그럼 표는 지금 살까?
응, 미리 사면 할인된다고 했어. 지금 사자.
그래. 근데 날씨는 확인 안 해도 괜찮아?
나는 날씨 상관없어. 만약에 비가 오면 사람이 적어서 그것도 좋을 것 같아.
그래. 그럼 언제 갈까?
내 생각엔 아침에 가도 사람이 많을 것 같아.
맞아, 토요일이니까. 그럼 오후에 가자.
어차피 오후 입장권이 더 저렴하더라고. 오후에 가서 불꽃놀이도 보고 오자.
불꽃놀이? 불꽃놀이도 볼 수 있어?
응, 폐장 시간쯤에 불꽃놀이 해.
불꽃놀이 좋아. 난 불꽃놀이 본 지 진짜 오래됐어. 신난다.
나도 롤러코스터랑 바이킹도 탈 거야.
롤러코스터랑 바이킹이랑 회전목마도 타자.
맞아. 놀이공원 가면 회전목마 꼭 타줘야지. 나 놀이기구 진짜 많이 탈 거야.
알겠어. 그럼 그날은 피곤할 테니까 택시 타고 다녀오자.
좋은 생각이야. 빨리 주말이 되면 좋겠다.
나도.
Okay, now let's take a look at this conversation one line at a time. And remember to always take notes so that you can check them later on.
지수야, 우리 이번 주말에 뭐 하기로 했지?
Jisoo, what did we decide to do this weekend? When calling out to someone casually, such as a close friend who's the same age as you or younger, attach a to their name if it ends in a consonant, or ya if it ends in a vowel. 기로하다 can attach to an action verb stem to mean to decide to do. It's often used in the past tense, here with 했지.
글쎄, 뭔가 하기로 했던 것 같은데 기억이 잘 안 나네?
Well, I think we decided to do something, but I can't remember it well. 글쎄요 is only used at the beginning of a sentence to say that you're considering something or aren't sure. It can translate as, well, or I'm not sure. A double 시옷 with 던, here in 했던, attaches to a past tense verb stem and changes that verb into an adjective. It means that something used to happen in the past, but no longer happens. This can naturally translate as used to or just had done. In this sentence, it shows that they had decided to do something, 했던 것, and not just decided, 한 것. 기억이 나다 is used when a memory comes to mind and not because someone actively or consciously remembered it. Use 기억하다 to say to remember in that case. As a result, 기억이 나다 can't be used as a command or to say that someone can't remember something. Use 기억하다 for these cases.
어디 가기로 했던 것 같아. 영화 보러 가기로 했나?
I think we decided to go somewhere. Did we decide to go see a movie? 어디, meaning where, can also be used outside of questions to mean somewhere or anywhere. The same applies to all question words, which can mean some or any when used outside of questions. For example, 뭐, meaning what, can also mean something or anything. 누구, meaning who, can also mean someone or anyone, and so on. Note that when used in this way, the intonation should be on the verb that comes after the question word. 어디 갔어요 means where did they go? On the other hand, 어디 갔어요 means did they go somewhere? 으로 can attach to an action verb stem and means in order to do that, but is specifically only used with verbs that show movement. This includes verbs like 가다 to go, 오다 to come, and others.
아니야, 영화는 저번 주에 봤잖아.
No, we saw a movie last week, right? 저번 is used to mean the last whenever talking about an event or a time. 잖아요 is originally a shortened version of 지 않아요, but its usage is different. It attaches directly after a verb stem, here after the verb 보다 in the past tense, and is used to emphasize that what you're saying is correct. This is similar to saying look, or see, or right, or you know, after saying something. It's only used in informal or casual speech. For more polite speech, use the ending 조.
아, 기억났다. 우리 놀이공원 가기로 했어. 토요일? 일요일?
Ah, I remember. We decided to go to an amusement park. Saturday? Sunday? Remember that 기억이 나다 is used when a memory comes to mind. Here, 기억났다 means that the memory of deciding to go to the amusement park came back, not that they actively or consciously remembered it themselves. 기억이 나다 is typically used more often than 기억하다 in situations like this when someone happens to remember something.
맞아, 놀이공원. 일요일보다는 토요일이 좋을 것 같아.
Right, in amusement park. I think Saturday would be better than Sunday. Remember that 보다 is used after a noun to make comparisons and means then. Literally, this sentence means, I think Saturday would be good then Sunday.
그래, 그럼 표는 지금 살까?
Yeah, then should we buy the tickets now? 살까 uses the 가요 form, which can be attached after an action verb stem with either 을 or a lir to make suggestions. For example, 하다 becomes 할까요, and 먹다 becomes 먹을까요. This form can translate as should I or should we do something, but more naturally is used like suggesting you do something by asking want to or how about. Note that the 가요 form also has another common usage, not only to suggest doing something, but to suggest whether something could or would happen or could or would be. It can be used in this way with both action verbs and descriptive verbs, and you'll see other examples of it being used in this way.
응, 미리 사면 할인된다고 했어. 지금 사자.
Yeah, I heard if we buy them in advance, they'll be discounted. Let's buy them now. 할인이 되다 is the passive version of the verb 할인하다, meaning to discount. Literally, 할인이 되다 means to become discount. More naturally, you can translate it as just to be cheaper. 할인된다고 했어 comes from the quoting form 다고 하다, here in the past tense as 다고 했어, and means they say or I heard. This sort of quoting form is used to tell someone something that you know because someone else told you. Note that while it's 다고 with most verbs, since this quoting form uses the plain form, for the verb 이다 meaning to be, instead use 이라고. And for the verb 아니다 meaning to not be, use 아니라고. And remember that the ending 자, meaning let's, is only used in casual speech.
그래. 근데 날씨는 확인 안 해도 괜찮아?
Yeah, but is it fine if we don't check the weather? Typically, the particle 도, meaning also, to, or even, is used after a conjugated verb, followed by the verb 되다, to mean that it's okay to do something. This is used when asking or giving permission to do something. However, in addition to 되다, you'll also commonly find 괜찮다, meaning to be fine or all right, like in this sentence.
나는 날씨 상관없어. 만약에 비가 오면 사람이 적어서 그것도 좋을 것 같아.
The weather doesn't matter. If it rains, there will be few people, so I think that would be good too. 만약에 is used together with the 음연 form to add extra emphasis to the meaning of if. The 에 is optional.
그래. 그럼 언제 갈까?
Yeah. Then when should we go? 그래 is a casual expression that's simply 그래, repeated twice in a row for more emphasis. Remember that the 가요 form can be used to make suggestions and can translate as should I or should we. However, more naturally, it can also translate as want to or how about. Here, this can also translate more naturally as then when do you want to go?
내 생각엔 아침에 가도 사람이 많을 것 같아.
In my opinion, I think there will be a lot of people even if we go in the morning. 내 생각에 or 제 생각에 literally means in my thoughts and is used for expressing your opinion. It's used together with a form that means I think, such as the 것 같다 form, like here, or the 고 생각하다 form.
맞아. 토요일이니까. 그럼 오후에 가자.
Right, because it's Saturday. Then let's go in the afternoon. 오후 literally means afternoon. The opposite is 오전, literally meaning before noon or in the morning.
어차피 오후 입장권이 더 저렴하더라고. 오후에 가서 불꽃놀이도 보고 오자.
Yeah! Anyway, I recall that the afternoon admission prices are less expensive. Let's go in the afternoon and then watch the fireworks too and come back. Note that 응, meaning yes, is also commonly pronounced in speech as all, even when written as 응. 더 저렴하더라고 literally means it was more inexpensive, but a more natural translation is less expensive. In addition to meaning because, the 서 ending is also used to mean and then, when something happens after something else that's related. Here, 오후에 가서 means that after they go to the amusement park in the afternoon, they'll also watch the fireworks. These two actions are related, and it means that they're going to watch the fireworks at the amusement park and not just somewhere else. In English, we say to go do something, but in Korean, it's common to say to do something and come back, using the form 고 오다, meaning to do and come back, when you want the person to return afterward. Here, this sentence can more naturally translate as let's go in the afternoon and then go watch the fireworks too.
불꽃놀이? 불꽃놀이도 볼 수 있어?
Fireworks? We can also watch fireworks?
응. 폐장 시간쯤에 불꽃놀이 해.
Yeah, they do fireworks around closing time.
불꽃놀이 좋아. 난 불꽃놀이 본 지 진짜 오래됐어. 신난다.
Fireworks are great. It's been a really long time since I've seen fireworks. Yay! 신이 나다 is used when someone feels excited or enthusiastic. So, 신난다 literally means I'm excited. However, a more natural way to translate this expression is just yay.
나도 롤러코스터랑 바이킹도 탈 거야.
Me too. I'll go on roller coasters and also the pirate ship ride. Viking, meaning a pirate ship ride, originally comes from the word Viking.
롤러코스터랑 바이킹이랑 회전목마도 타자.
Let's go on roller coasters and the pirate ship ride and also the merry-go-round.
맞아. 놀이공원 가면 회전목마 꼭 타줘야지. 나 놀이기구 진짜 많이 탈 거야.
Right. When you go to a theme park, you have to make sure to ride the merry-go-round. I'm going to go on so many rides. 꼭 is an adverb that means surely or certainly, but more naturally translates as to make sure to do something. 타줘야지 comes from 타다 and 주다, which is doing something as a favor for someone, together with the form 야지. This 야지 is a spoken version of 야하지 or 야되지, which uses the 야하다 or 야되다 form, along with the ending 지, and means that someone has to or needs to do something. Here, this means you need to ride or you have to ride. You will also find 야조 in more polite speech. 진짜 많이 literally means really a lot, and this combination is frequently used in casual speech to mean so much or so many. However, it should not be used in more polite or formal speech.
알겠어. 그럼 그날은 피곤할 테니까 택시 타고 다녀오자.
Got it. Then that day, because I assume we'll be tired, let's take a taxi and go there. 알겠다 comes from 알다, meaning to know, with the 겠다 ending, and is used to mean that you understand something. Here, 알겠어 is like saying I understand or I got it. Note that using 알겠다 is slightly different than using the regular past tense form 알았다. For example, 알았어, which can also translate to I understand or I got it. While 알았다 literally means that you knew or understood something, using 알았다 sounds like saying I understand, the end. On the other hand, 알겠다 sounds more respectful, like saying I understand and I'll take care of it. The 테니까 form is used after a verb stem that will be with either 을 or with a lir to make an assumption. For example, 하다 becomes 할 테니까 and 먹다 becomes 먹을 테니까. It can translate as I assume, it's supposed to, or it must be. A more natural translation is often I'm sure. It uses the 으니까 form, which means because. So it's used when explaining the reason for something. Because I'm sure that. At the end of a sentence, this form can be 테니까요 in polite speech. While it can also be used as 테니, most often in speech it's used as 테니까. The 테니까 form is often followed by a suggestion or a command. So you can think of it as meaning, because I'm sure something will happen or something is. Here, a natural way to translate this sentence would be, since I'm sure we'll be tired that day, let's take a taxi there. Here, 택시 타고 다녀오자 literally means let's take a taxi and then go there and come back. This is the same usage as 고 오다, to say to go and come back. Here, a more natural translation could simply be, let's take a taxi.
좋은 생각이야. 빨리 주말이 되면 좋겠다.
That's a good idea. I hope the weekend comes quickly. 좋은 생각 literally means a good thought, but more naturally means a good idea. 주말이 되면 uses the verb 되다, to become, which is commonly used when talking about becoming a time. Here, becoming the weekend. You can think of 주말이 되면 more naturally as when it's the weekend. 으면 좋겠다 literally means it would be good if, and is another way to say that you hope or wish for something. It's used after a verb stem, and the verb stem can be either in the present tense or the past tense. For example, 하다 can become 하면 좋겠다 or 했으면 좋겠다. The past tense shows a stronger desire for something to happen, but both have the same meaning. 빨리 주말이 되면 좋겠다 could more naturally translate as simply, I can't wait for the weekend.
나도.
Me too. Now that we've gone over everything, let's listen to this full conversation one more time completely and try to follow along using what we've learned and any notes that you've taken.
지수야, 우리 이번 주말에 뭐 하기로 했지?
글쎄, 뭔가 하기로 했던 것 같은데 기억이 잘 안 나네?
어디 가기로 했던 것 같아. 영화 보러 가기로 했나?
아니야, 영화는 저번 주에 봤잖아.
아, 기억났다. 우리 놀이공원 가기로 했어. 토요일? 일요일?
맞아, 놀이공원. 일요일보다는 토요일이 좋을 것 같아.
그래, 그럼 표는 지금 살까?
응, 미리 사면 할인된다고 했어. 지금 사자.
그래. 근데 날씨는 확인 안 해도 괜찮아?
나는 날씨 상관없어. 만약에 비가 오면 사람이 적어서 그것도 좋을 것 같아.
그래. 그럼 언제 갈까?
내 생각엔 아침에 가도 사람이 많을 것 같아.
맞아, 토요일이니까. 그럼 오후에 가자.
어차피 오후 입장권이 더 저렴하더라고. 오후에 가서 불꽃놀이도 보고 오자.
불꽃놀이? 불꽃놀이도 볼 수 있어?
응. 폐장 시간쯤에 불꽃놀이 해.
불꽃놀이 좋아. 난 불꽃놀이 본 지 진짜 오래됐어. 신난다.
나도 롤러코스터랑 바이킹도 탈 거야.
롤러코스터랑 바이킹이랑 회전목마도 타자.
맞아. 놀이공원 가면 회전목마 꼭 타줘야지. 나 놀이기구 진짜 많이 탈 거야.
알겠어. 그럼 그날은 피곤할 테니까 택시 타고 다녀오자.
좋은 생각이야. 빨리 주말이 되면 좋겠다.
나도.
And that's all for this lesson. Remember that natural Korean conversations can range in difficulty from beginner level to advanced. So take your time, practice everything in this lesson, and rewatch it if you need to. And I'll see you again in the next lesson. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.